From high-speed engines to high fashion, my next guest is definitely redefining what car culture can look like. Victoria Scott is a journalist, photographer, and author of this new book, We Deserve This, a trans feminine automotive lookbook. It's part art, part love letter to cars, and all about celebrating identity and joy. Victoria, welcome to New Day.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing to have you here. This book is about trans women in cars. So why is it called We Deserve This?
We Deserve This came about when I was working on it, and I really wanted to highlight my friends who are all in this book. I wanted to highlight them at their best. I wanted to show off how joyous their lives were, how well they had defined themselves through their clothing choices or their cars or some blend of the two. And so I thought it was a work that really uplifted my community, and I thought we deserved it.
I love it. The title makes perfect sense. And you feel that cars and fashion are really linked, so explain.
Yeah, so my first car, I had an old 80s Supra. And when I first bought it, I was kind of looked at it as a steward of it. I had to be very careful with the modifications I made. I wanted to keep it all bone stock. I didn't want to change the character of the car. And as I got more comfortable with experimenting with my identity, I started to modify the car. I thought how do I want to be perceived with this car when I roll up to a show or a drift event, stuff like that. And so I sort of used the car as an experimentation platform for how I would play with my identity and how I would present myself to the world. And so I started pairing my fashion and my fits to the car. And that was sort of I started to notice other people in the automotive world do that. You look at Lewis Hamilton, the F1 driver. When he announced for Ferrari, they had a whole press kit release where it was him wearing the coolest suit I've ever seen with an 80s F40. And it was this perfect blend of a couple of different, synthesizing different styles into one cohesive whole. And so that was kind of what made it all make sense to me.
Oh, I dig that. And tell us about the process of putting this book together. And we're also going to look at some photos from the book. There, we're seeing some now.
Yeah, so some of the shoots that we did in this book are the women brought their own cars. And so this is my friend Lauren. This is her old Porsche. And that was sort of a constant throughout her whole life, as she had this 911 from the 80s onward. And some of them I would go and find a car that really fit one of my friend's vibes. So we have a shoot in here that's a Subaru Crosstrek with a lady who loves to hike. And so, it's kind of, I was trying to show that the car can be, a front and center aspect of your lifestyle or your sense of self, or it can kind of be an assisting character that sort of helps build this persona.
Look at that powerful persona on the top of the car.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
That was her old diesel Benz. Yeah, and so we kind of approached it differently depending on what the model wanted. I really wanted it to be genuine, so I didn't pick people's outfits. They came to me and they were I want to wear this outfit and I want to portray this era or this kind of style. And so I'd be okay, we can either grab one of your cars or we can I'll go find something that'll fit it. It's the cover car, for example, is that was a friend of mine's in Texas where we did this shoot. He let me borrow it, and we it's this golden 90s optimistic pop-up headlight, sort of little sports coupe. My friend has this very bright and floral 90s style, and so it was oh, okay, we should do a little fashion shoot around this. And this was actually where the book concept came from, was this original shoot with my friend Claire.
And now look at you. And so talk about the importance of this work and how it represents trans women as themselves versus something else.
Yeah, when I was first coming out, there was not a lot of media produced for us. A lot of it was kind of an outsider look at the trans community as it was very clinical or medical, or it was exploitative, or it was depressing. I feel there was very little that I felt was for us as an uplifting work to show that we can be fully realized people. We can have, we're beautiful. And so I really wanted something that kind of filled that niche that actually existed to show us that we had futures where we could be beautiful and happy. And so this was kind of my response to a lifetime of only seeing depressing works.
Yeah, and what do you hope this book does for the awareness around the trans community?
I really want people to realize that we we're people like everybody else. We enjoy, I'm a huge car enthusiast, so the automotive angle for this was very near and dear to my heart. But that, we can live happy lives. I want people to realize that like part of being able to live a happy life is being able to visualize it and understand that there is a place for people like you. Like there are states today where this book is getting like questionably legal in certain libraries because it portrays trans people, and that itself is getting into a like dicey legal territory. And so I think that illustrates kind of like the challenge my community faces, which is we have to be able to see ourselves in positions of success or happiness in order to like live our futures out. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing I would like people to be aware of. It's like we need to have a space to thrive.
Absolutely, we all do. And so where can people find the book?
They can get it on bookshop.org and order it through their favorite local bookstore. It's at Elliott Bay Books in Capitol Hill, where I live. You can get it at Career Media, which is my publisher's website, and I think it's on Amazon as well.
And really quick before we go, what was your favorite book or favorite car in there?
Probably Lauren's Porsche 911, just because it was like she had raced it for years. It had like a roll cage, it had a fully built motor. She drove it. It was very fun. It was very invigorating and memorable.
Wow, this was amazing chat. Thank you so much, and congrats on the book.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and just a reminder, Victoria is holding an author event tonight, Monday, September 8th at 7 p.m. at the Elliott Bay Book Company.